Hi, and welcome to the Divine Intervention Podcast. I'm your host, Lexi Hingle, and today I'm here having a conversation with my very, very best friend, Michelle Healey.
Welcome.
This podcast is to shed light on the ways that God and the universe has intervened with our lives to help us get back on our true path of fulfilling our dharma, fulfilling our life's purpose, and what that has looked like. And a lot of people describe these instances as miracles of sorts, but typically it's, this.
Destruction and chaos.
Yeah.
Divine destruction instead of divine intervention.
It's like destruction in the moment, and then 2020, okay, that was an intervention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like we've come back to a 2020 moment, like with society, with humanity, with what's going on in our planet right now. Like that was the time where people had the opportunity to get in shape or like step into service or maybe make adjustments in their life, get out of relationships, get out of jobs, like be a different way, take care of addictions. And if that didn't happen, it feels like we're now in this big review for the people who like didn't maybe get things rolling. That it feels like, I don't know if you feel you see this, that like things are starting to crumble again, structures are starting to crumble again. And we all knew it was crumbling back then, and we thought, oh, we can't go on this way. But then we plugged back into capitalism, into checking out, into like massive just consumption. And now the wheels are falling off again. Like government shutdowns, like astronomical inflation, like, wars all over our freaking planet at this time. But interpersonally, it seems like people are stressed to the max and being pushed out of their comfort zone to potentially go through what we went through in COVID,
Right.
which is give up a job, give up a partner, like get with your dharma, find the things that make you happy because you've almost got nothing to lose again. You're in like the mental place, the framework of like, well, fuck it.
Yeah, it's like a cyclical thing. It's like we've returned to that point, and if you didn't do it last time, you're up. Like, and we did it last time, so we're here to like help guide you take that very first step.
Yeah.
And I think that's really what I want this podcast to be about, and our conversations together to be about, because that's like the whole basis and framework of our relationship in and of itself is us being on this broken road and then together in our own lives in different ways, just like holding hands, but like coming back to this path of, okay, this is what we're supposed to be doing. Like rebirth. Yeah, a path of rebirth.
Like we met at a time of divine intervention in our lives. Like we were both coming out of like a different way of living and wanting to anchor in a new way of living, a new, more grounded, embodied, like being in service on our spiritual path, And it was like we were in this big transition, and we met at a 3-day meditation yoga retreat. And like I just looked at her and I was like, I think we're gonna be friends for a really long time. And it was more that I could see you hadn't shared anything, you didn't share a single thing yet, but like the energy we were both carrying at that time, like, and our energy always continues to match each other's energy as like we keep rising into like our service.
Yeah.
But at that point, like I could feel like you were also like hungry eyes
It's
for
like an unspoken, yeah.
for like the path. Like you were just like springing into action. And I didn't know where you were. Like had, you been maybe a yoga teacher for like 10 years. I didn't, have any clue of like what your life looked like. But I just felt this like similar, like we're ready. Like we're ready to commit. We're ready to do the work. Like we're sick of the way things have been. And we're no longer like putting up with these things. And at that time I didn't know like what relationships and careers we both had that were things we were walking away from. We had both
Right. We didn't, there was zero context whatsoever. We were like walking from the main sleeping quarters to the meditation hall, and she's next to me. And she's, I mean, I don't know anyone there other than my friend Fallon, who I invited to go on the retreat. And so, I'm like, oh, this is like me and Fallon's time. And at that moment in time, I was actually like, this is just the time for me to somehow stay alive and sane. I'm like grasping for life at this point in my journey. And yeah, like you open heartedly, I'm not even someone who believes people when they're like, oh, like we're friends now and we're gonna be friends forever. And
And I
like there
don't say
was,
that to people because I like my alone time.
but there was something about it was the way your words resonated deep in my soul. I was like, holy shit, I have no idea who this woman is, and I actually honestly believe you. Like, I really do. I have no idea where our paths are leading, where like what you even do for a living, but I'm like something in that sentence alone, it plays like on repeat in my head, like this movie scene I'll never forget. And it was like the way you looked into my eyes and the conviction. I was just like, yeah, we are going to be best friends for a long time. Like,
And that was like our souls intervening at that moment at that retreat. I mean, that retreat was life changing for me. Not only
yeah.
like you as a friend, but then following Saeed as a teacher, like in India. And you were then going on your India journey. I mean, not immediately after that, but shortly after that, where I didn't even know I would be there the following year, but kind of following you. I was like, oh God, no, it's not my time. You're like, I think you're going to be going. And it was just like, that was a catalyst for so many
Yeah,
things.
I decided at that retreat I was going to India. Like at that retreat, I was like, I'm going to India. And I think we need to give the viewers more context of like, I want to give them more context of who you are, like where you came from, how long you've lived here in the city in New Orleans, and what all of that. Like what you were actually, like what you were doing when we first met too.
Yeah, when Lexi and I first met at that meditation retreat, I was owning a restaurant in the city in the French Quarter. And I had just started like having, my spiritual awakening a few years prior, but in big resistance to it. And it wasn't really till early 2022 that like I had the biggest wake up call of like, I have to like let all of this go, like these like toxic health patterns, this toxic relationship, and like I need to take ownership for my life. And it was like I was like the big letting go of everything, like cutting things out. So I felt I was in between worlds. Like I was at the restaurant. Most of my money is coming from selling alcohol to tourists in the French Quarter. I was really deep into like my yoga and my meditation practice, and I was working with plant medicines at that time. And I was just feeling so conflicted and thinking like, how do I get from one world to this other world, like where I want to be in service in a way that is not harmful to community, not harmful to people. Like it no longer felt aligned that I could be a person who didn't drink alcohol, yet like my paychecks come from these people who may or may not have a substance abuse issue, but I will say the majority of people may be aware that they do have an unhealthy relationship with substances.
And in New Orleans, that's so overlooked because it's ingrained in you from the get go that this is our way of life. Like, it's actually almost feels healthier to partake in those acts because if not, you're an outcast from the rest of society.
Yeah, it's like why are you doing too much, or why are you making other people feel uncomfortable who drink? And it's like, I don't care if anybody does or doesn't drink. This is just what my choices are, and there's a better way out there than like what we're doing. But yeah, I was just feeling like very lost. Like, how do I get from point A to point B? And that retreat felt like it was this stepping stone into B, from A to B. And it was like, I felt like the way we met each other there was the way it was like our higher selves met. We met each other at our highest self. And I remember you even said something at the retreat, like, I don't know if it was like the second day or the end of it. You're like, this is like who I am. This is how I always like know, like want to show up. Like, this is like who I know I am here. Like, who I am here is who I really am. And I felt that so much. It was like I felt I was finally given the space to be like this fucking spiritual woman that I always wanted to be, where everyone was just meeting each other in their hearts, in presence, with no pretense, no masking. and just so open and so beautiful. And even other spaces I had been in before, I mean, that is definitely there, but there was just something that was so magical about that weekend that it made everything seem possible.
It wasn't like, yeah, we were no longer hiding in plain sight. Like, everyone that showed up was like already under the notion of like, this is who I am pursuing to become more of on a surface level. And like, it was so liberating and freeing at that point to be like, oh, cool, I don't have to pretend to like all these, you know, nasty, toxic habits. It was about, what, an hour and a half outside of the city. It was a moment where we could lay down all of our toxic bad habits of smoking, vaping, you know, hanging around with the wrong people, and just show up as like this pure innocence that was like been neglected for so long because we were doing the most to fit in, and our authentic selves were like pushed to the side. Yeah.
And from there, I guess, like what I do now, you know, this catapulted me into feeling like brave enough of like, that's what I want all of my life to be, is an integrity. I don't want misalignment. I don't want to feel that I have like masks I'm wearing, where over here with the service industry, I show up as this person who's like, oh, you know, I'm into this scene and into like craft cocktails and blah 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 and who's and the finest dining restaurants, and then I go over here and I like drop that mask and I'm like, oh, I'm Shanti. And so I was like, I need to get an integrity with myself, and I only want to be over here because that is the most, you know, like natural thing to my being and my soul, is to be this space. So from there, the next year I sold my restaurant, and that was, you know, a connection I had to a toxic relationship where it wasn't like I could have like left that relationship the year prior and then not also have left the restaurant, because it was like our last, you know, lines to tie each other together.
Yeah.
And it was hard to admit that I had to let them both go. But that was the best thing I ever did, because that gave me the opportunity to then leave the country, go and spend time in Asia and deepen in practices in Buddhism, and go to India, spend time with my teacher, and learn really beautiful energy work from these really old ancient traditions, and start to feel like confident in that I can like make my life all of this, like from the moment I wake up to the moment I close my eyes can be spiritual, and like nothing has to be out of congruence. And so I just did it. Like I just jumped and I said, this is what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
Like, and I will.
It's so cool that we jumped at the same time too.
Yeah.
And there were times where we didn't see each other for months and months and months, but we kept up like every day on the phone, to the point where like I moved to Hawaii. She has never been to Hawaii, and I felt like she was there with me every single day. Like there's no one that I've been closer with than you in these past couple of years, really, since that retreat. And it's so wild because we've only really been together in person like a handful of times.
Yeah, because we like left after 1 year of knowing each other, both left the country and lived in geographically different locations.
Yeah.
But it felt like we were together every single day.
I know.
Like supporting each other every next stage. And they were mirroring each other. Like the path was like going through similar stages for each other. Like having the bravery to show up with our gifts, show up with our wisdom, show up with the things we had disciplined and practiced for so long. Like,
but applying them to real life.
Been a teacher for years. Like you had been a yoga teacher with the expertise to lead and to teach for years. And
but I wasn't doing it.
You had to find that in Hawaii, like to come into your leadership in a bigger way and be seen and like put yourself out there. And like that's what I was like doing like in Bali and India. I was like, okay, like we're gonna be seen and share what we do without fear of how it will be received, because we know we're offering something that is from our lived experience. It's not regurgitated. It's not from some 3-day weekend like course retreat, or something that, you know, an online certificate. Like this is like real lived cultivated medicine. And it's like we've just been hiding it in our medicine pouch, like too scared to like give it to anybody or give our gifts away or share our gifts.
Yeah, or not feeling like enough integrity to do that without feeling hypocritical. I think that was my issue. It was like, okay, I know I'm capable of all of these beautiful light working gifts that I want to share with the world, but what I'm doing half of the time is not in alignment with that. So who am I to say you should live your life like this when at nighttime I'm in downtown New Orleans working at a club, I'm drinking, I am manipulating people, I am using my sexual energy in a very disrespectful way to make money, because at that point it was like money was my God. And I mean, it says that in the Bible, right? It's like you can't have more than one God. And like in the daytime, I would be teaching yoga, practicing yoga, eating healthy, you know, trying to reverse all of the nasty effects that my nightlife had
Yes.
on my life. And it was exhausting. And it was like, I don't know how to make this complete switch over with staying in this environment. And now it's this whole full circle, you and I back in New Orleans here. And we are here like with a complete entire new identity that we're fully embodying and living and standing in, not just talking about it. And we had to go. I feel like it was necessary for us to go away and do that so we could show up in a place where no one knew us. It gave us the opportunity.
To
I know
be
I'm
who
like
we
from,
want to be
yeah,
without the past saying like, well, 1 month ago you
you
were
were
having a cocktail like at 5
you
p.m.
were yeah, to be in an environment where no one knew who you were previously and you had the ability to recreate yourself from the jump. It was like, at first it was like, oh my gosh, like, am I just faking who I am? I was like, no, that was like the necessary steps to take in order to fully embody who it is that we want to show up as, confidently enough to the point where we can come back here and we practiced it for long enough that it's like unshakable, and our old temptations, our old vices can't come after us anymore because we've broken through them. And the opinions of the people that we were around, you know, before we moved no longer hold the same weight because they're coming from people that never took the leap like we did. It's like I'm thinking about sometimes like my family, you know, they see this person I'm becoming and they want me to be this version of myself that is happy and healthy and like doing good and adding value to the world around me. And I think they're growing with me now and relearning ways to relate to me instead of putting me in a box of like, this is Lexi, this is the old Lexi, is the Lexi I know, and I need to speak to her this certain way, or, you know, it's like leaving a lot of that behind. And it's like demanding these boundaries and this respect, even from the people closest to me, because that is how we love each other. It's like, I'm going to meet you where you are right now and accept you for who you are in your fullest right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think too, like a big part of something we both did was we anchored in our integrity. Like we knew that like if we could just have some space to fully like blossom into what we knew we were becoming, and to have that room and not just have the reflection of past shadows and past mistakes and past lives and past partners
Everywhere you look.
like in every puddle you're stepping into in the city, that like the integrity that you knew was really like who you were, who was unwavering in your practice, your discipline, your offering, what you spoke was what your energy was what your like body was. Like there was nothing out of alignment, that we had to be given the space to anchor it so deeply into our system that it was like ingrained. It was like, okay, I know this is who I am. It's not who I want to be. It's not who I know myself to be. I am this person. Like I move this way. What I am like sharing and offering with you, I have lived now. Like I have lived for the last couple of years with unwavering like discipline and practice. And so I'm telling you it's possible, because you can't tell people, hey, there's another way. There's another way to live that feels like in alignment, that's going to be easier, that's going to be in flow, that's going to like release you from your shackles, essentially, like your mental, emotional shackles and like self-created prisons. But if we hadn't released ourselves from our self-created prisons here, like how could we ever tell people that there's a way out? There's a way out of addiction. There's a way out of the service industry. There's a way out of the club. You know, there's a way out of abusive relationships. there's a way out of, even if you feel like you're a person who's making decisions that aren't so like in integrity for other people, you can show up differently. And you can choose on any day of the week when you want to start showing up differently, and you just do it the next day and the next day and the next day, and you decide you're never not going to show up differently. You're never going back.
It's the first thing that you have to think about in the morning. It's like you're deciding upon opening your eyes to rewrite the thought patterns in your brain. Yeah. Every single day. Every single day. And how do you do that? I mean, like, science has proven how you can change the chemistry in your brain. And it's, I mean, we could go into it. I feel like we're going to have many conversations about this. We could talk for hours and hours and hours, but you got to start small. And it doesn't have to be like, I need to leave my marriage and like leave my family and like go travel the world. That's not what we're saying. There's small things that you can change about your life, even if you are in these situations where like you've decided to settle down and like you are working in like a corporate environment and like you're going to continue to pursue that. But like, how can you make subtle changes in your life to become more aligned with who you really are? We all have very particular, unique gifts. And that is what we need to be tending to. And if you don't have the structure or capacity to just flip your life over completely and give away everything and like go move across the world like we did, you can still tend to those gifts while simultaneously like slowly segueing out of your corporate job. And I fully advocate for that. I imagine and envision a world where every single person is in alignment with their specific talent, gift, purpose, and are living in that and playing that out and like making the world a better place, because every single person's gift is needed.
Yeah.
So it's just like, yeah.
And vote for Alexis for president in 2028. That's a misconception. I feel like a lot of people think, oh, well, that's cool, you can do that, but I can't do that because I have to do this. Or like, I have a family, I have a mortgage, I have XYZ. And it might seem impossible. Yeah, you can't make the jump from here to here in a day. Maybe you're not going to make the jump from here to here in a year or 2 years. But if you start like walking across that bridge, you're going to find yourself on the other side, and you're going to find out like what it is you are here to share. Not everyone's here to be a healer. Not everyone's here to, you know, like do Reiki or all these other things. But that's not everybody came with that gift. That would be such a boring world.
Right.
But like, you have a gift uncovered inside of you. If you don't believe you do, I will tell you that there is no person on this planet without like an actual gift that is just theirs to share. Like, you are the only you of these, 8-9 million
Your
people on this earth. Like,
yeah,
there's one of you, and that's not by mistake. Like,
you know that everyone has their own tongue print too. I just recently learned that everyone has their own unique tongue print.
Yeah, so they have their own unique soul song to sing, and it will reveal itself to you when you make the commitment to life to find it. It's not even like you have to do this on your own. If what I have found, I feel like there's this 49-51% rule. If you meet life 51% for your dreams, you will be met finally with all the support you're looking for. But you need to show and prove that you're willing to go more than just a half-assed effort. Like, you are actually willing to go 100%, but I'm telling you, when you get to 51, you have tipped the scales, you have changed your energy, you've changed your flow, and everything starts coming to your doorstep after that. So, like, don't give up that you gave it 25, you gave it 30, you tried a different way, nothing came through to you, like, life didn't whisper in your ear what your, contribution to the larger society was or what your gift was. You have to play till the end. You have to give it more than 50%. And then things just truly and magically start to appear in your world. Insights start to come, downloads start to happen. Wisdom shows up in like your dreams and different messages from different people. You see what you need.
In like the most common conversation with like the person at the grocery store. It's like, that's exactly what I needed to hear. I just needed to leave my house and it was going to be there. You know, like it's going to find you. It's going to find you.
And I feel that's more so why this podcast is so incredible and called Divine Intervention, because you specifically are somebody who, when I have had doubt on my path about like, okay, I feel like I'm being supported, but I haven't seen the support yet, or I feel that these things are coming to alignment, you have shared with me these stories that are mind-blowing, where life has literally come in at the last second and just like delivered exactly what you needed in that moment in the most miraculous, wildest, most impossible,
in the most beautiful
ways.
way. It's always better than what I asked too, and it always has to be that way, where it stretches you, because what you're asking for is something that you are yet capable of holding at your current capacity level. Like, you need to be stretched. Your heart needs to be opened. You need to believe that you are worth it. And sometimes it's like being dug into the ground and you're on your last breath and like you're just shedding blood and tears for that moment in your brain and your belief system to be like, you know what? I'm fucking worth so much more than this. And I did, like, as much as I claimed that I was worth it, and I claimed that I want and need these beautiful blessings to come into my life, my core belief system did not believe it until this moment. And I don't know, that's how it works for me. I don't know if that's how it works for everyone else, but like, maybe because I'm so stubborn in my nature, it's like, oh, I want this, but it's like life is going to like drag me to my wit's end before like it's something about my emotion too. When my emotion and conviction is like 150%, it's
like
a
to
blink,
where you're shaking. You're like, yes.
a
like,
blink of an eye. Everything changes. I get a house for free 5 feet away from the beach and the ocean for 4 or 5 months. It was like 4.5 months for free, just because the owner wanted a house sitter.
But will you share about like how, like why this is so magical? It's not like you just got a house for free, but it was like your like time of like need and what you were like, you were waiting, and it was like the last second how these things arrived in your life. Like, give the whole story, because that's where like the source of the inspiration for me always came from, was like the story before and then the story after. Like, it's not that I just get nice things when I need
No, yeah. That specific scenario was related to a really unhealthy relationship in my yoga practice, saying like, please God, give me clarity. Like, I know what I'm doing right now. Something in my life is not right. Like, I don't feel in alignment with you. My living situation was unhealthy and I didn't have any money, and I felt the tension between me and the person I was living with growing. So yeah, it was like, I need to go now and I don't know where to go. There's a whole housing crisis where I'm living. How can I even afford a place when I don't have money? And boom, I go to my job the next day and my boss is like, is there anyone that needs a place to live for free for 5 months?
And not just a place, but like the
and not
nicest
just a place. Yeah, like
Billionaire Island in Hawaii.
Yeah, that's just one of the.
But the spot that you had been visiting and writing poetry at.
Yeah, it was the same beach, the same spot that I was spending a lot of time under this tree, and it's like where I would go to like feel safe. Considering I didn't feel safe in my living quarters, you know, I needed some place to go that felt like, okay, this is like a good grounding place for me. And I'm going to spend time here when I need to feel safe and close to God. And the house was right there, like right there.
And you trusted though, like that was like the biggest part, was like, even though you literally didn't see anything coming to your doorstep or fruition when you needed to get out of that living situation, I feel like the times that I talked to you on the phone, the biggest thing was like we sounded delusional. Like, oh, don't worry, it's gonna work out for the best. And you're kind of like supporting a friend, and you tell them that, and you're like, fuck, it seems pretty dire actually. Like, I don't know how you're gonna get out of this one. Like, and I hope it works out for you. I'm in another country. I love you so much. Like, prayers, peace.
Yeah.
But then you're like, no, I just know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know too, but I don't know how, but I know. And
I know how. I know how, because I was at a place of cultivating and really holding this frequency of gratitude, which is 100% necessary to up-level your life every single time. You have to be completely grateful and thankful for everything about your current state before the doors opened. And like, I was practicing doing that amidst the like worry and chaos every single time. It's always like that. It's like, I could be scared shitless right now, but what is that going to do for me? What is that going to get me? The universe is responding to my frequency. So if I want a blessing to appear, I need to match that. And I'm gonna be delusional, because I have to be delusional, because that's how I'm going to match that. And my family is not here. I can't just retreat back to my family. I am in the middle of the ocean, and it's me, and it's go time. And like, let me really put all of what I've ever learned and preached into reality. Like, I'm gonna, like, what do I have to lose? What do I have to lose?
And this like occurrence was like one of many that you had on the island, where I would literally say like, hey, can you actually type out what you just said to me so that I can go back and read this, because what just happened to you is so fucking astronomically impossible and wild that if I'm having trouble like holding my faith for something, I'm just going to revisit your story, because it's literally astronomically impossible. And it just is proof that like miracles, like, God can fucking move mountains for you. Like, there is truly nothing that cannot be brought to your doorstep if you really are in that energy. And it is not like going to cause harm to another person,
right?
Et cetera, et cetera. There's some strings attached to manifesting.
But yeah, you have told me that before. You really have. And I mean, I've seen it play out in your life too. And it's funny. It's like, I really do forget, like, and I think that's a part of the process, is the forgetting and remembering, because there's such a beauty in the remembrance. And the forgetting part is it has to take place for you to have that. It's like reading your favorite book for the first time ever. Like, that is what this human experience keeps giving us time and time again.
That's where the gratitude feels the deepest, because I mean, unfortunately, I don't believe like we have to be kicked and knocked down and then we're given like a treat from life, and then we're like so grateful for the piece of the pie that we got because we were eating shit before. But I do believe in a yin-yang dual like world that's based off of polarity. You can't just taste sweet all the time, because your palate gets like used to it. And I mean, I'm not saying you can't taste sweet all the time. You literally can. You can literally live off of sugar. But you don't appreciate and you don't feel the depths of gratitude for it, because the flavor becomes bland. You lose your sense of taste, and it's just a normal part of your life.
And the taste is only coming from your human perception anyways.
Yeah.
So like, technically you can't, I feel. I mean, like, sugar is like, it's like if the tree fell in the woods and no one was there, would it still make a noise? It's the same thing. It's like, these tastes that we're tasting, it's because of us. So like, technically, like, we can't run off of the same thing all the time. Like, I do feel like it's impossible.
Yeah. You can't appreciate it unless now you get some sour, some like bitter, some spicy, and then you bounce back to the fullest of that flavor and the fullest expression of it. So it's like, it doesn't have to hurt, It's just...
Yeah, it doesn't have to hurt. But also, like, defining pain and discomfort and how those two are different. And a lot of people mistaken discomfort as pain, where it's like, if you practice being uncomfortable enough on a consistent basis, then you're able to hold that like constantly. You're able to continue moving forward in a way where you're going back and forth from like, okay, it's a balance.